Welcome back to BookedMM with Mrs. Mullen. Today's book is Let's Get Lost by Adi Alsaid. And I'm not positive I'm saying his name correctly, but I'm doing the best I can. All right, this book is realistic fiction. I don't know if I've done a realistic fiction one yet. But this one is absolutely in the realm of realistic fiction. It's got a tiny bit of romance to it, but really it's more of a book about a journey. Now the author, Adi Alsaid, this is his first book. Adi Alsaid took a road trip up the California coastline. And it's interesting because that's really reflected in the story itself. This story is about a girl who takes a road trip and the people she meets along the way and how her personality and her choices affect their lives. Before I go too much further, let me go ahead and give a spoiler alert in my enthusiasm to tell you about this story. I may tell you details that you don't want to know. So if you're afraid of me doing that, then go ahead and press stop. All right. So the main character in this story is Layla, and Layla is traveling across the country to see the northern lights in Alaska. And the reason for her doing that becomes clear as the story progresses. I'm not going to exactly tell you that to you because that would honestly be a spoiler. But Layla is traveling in her car by herself across country. Now along the way she meets 4 different people, and in each of those people she helps them come to a decision about their own lives. Now the first person she meets is Hudson, and Hudson is a car mechanic, and that's what he really loves to do. His father wants him to become a lawyer and go to college, but what Hudson really likes to do is fix cars. Now the way that Layla and Hudson come across each other is because Layla's car stops working, so she needs a mechanic to help her, and he helps fix her car, and then they have conversations about all sorts of aspects of life, about college, about dreams, and Hudson comes to a decision after meeting Layla. Then the next person she meets is Bree, and Bree is a runaway. And Layla and Bree talk about living life to the fullest. And once again, Layla's interactions with Bree cause her to come to a decision. The next character is Elliot, and she meets Elliot as he's leaving his prom after being rejected by the girl of his dreams. And he's walking along the road and Layla hits him with her car. So that makes an interesting interaction there. And once again, they talk about life, they talk about relationships, they talk about decisions, and that puts Layla another step closer to Alaska and having affected another person. And then the last person that she comes across is Sonia. And Sonia is another person dealing with a relationship. In fact, she's just lost her boyfriend. And once again, Layla's presence and their interactions cause Sonia to come to another conclusion. And then the story wraps up after Layla makes it to Alaska and what she learns about herself there. What makes this story unique is how much one person can affect so many other people, and it causes you to think yourself, how do my interactions affect the people around me, and what kind of things can I learn from other people, and what can they learn from me? The story is well written, it is engaging, and it's one of those. This story is one of those that lets you think about the journey, not just your destination or final destination, but what you do on the journey along the way, which will remind you kind of your 7th grade unit on Journey and Discovery, where you talked about the Hobbit or you talked about Crispin, right? This is one of those journey stories, and you do get to see what happens to Layla as she makes her way through the journey, as well as seeing each of the other 4 teenagers, how they deal with their own personal journeys that they're going through. I'd highly recommend Let's Get Lost by Adi Alsaid, and this is another one of our Lone Star nominees, so it's one that you can consider. I liked it. I really liked the relationship aspects. I liked the interaction between the characters. And I liked how the story came together at the end. So I think you'll like it too. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in to BookedMM with Mrs. Mullen. And this is your daily reminder. Keep reading.